Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. And with me now is a lady that I've come to know and greatly admire. It's Becky Coleman from My Sister's House. Sorry to embarrass you there, Becky. but I do admire the things you've been doing. And My Sister's House is an organization here in Gresham that has done some great work. And with her is Stacy. Stacy, I'm glad to have you joining us today. And you're a client of My Sister's House. Maybe, Becky, you can start out by telling our viewers exactly what My Sister's House is, why you founded it, and what's going on.
Okay. Well, we're a safe house primarily for women who've suffered abuse in some form or another. And I founded it in 2004. I was at Manuka, and God gave me a vision. And I went on a jog, and my fleece before him was if I came back from it, I would run with it. And that happened to be a weekend that Manuka had a fundraiser.
And for people who don't know, Manuka is a retreat.
Oh, it's a retreat center, Presbyterian retreat center.
Up in the Columbia Gorge. Gorgeous.
And it is. It's wonderful. Very inspiring.
Yes.
One of my daughters used to work there, and so she had given me that weekend for my birthday present.
Oh, how nice.
And so that was great. And then I sat between a banker and a seroptimist, and I picked their brain after I told them the vision that God had given me, and just went from there. Gathered up people to support us, wrote grants, got our nonprofit status.
A whole lot of work to do all that, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work. Just getting your 501c3 status is a huge thing. And grant writing is what a headache. But
yes, for sure.
It is. But so your vision was to help women in crisis with a safe haven and temporary housing.
Temporary housing, and it's grown to include domestic violence recovery groups and parenting classes. We have art classes, we have Bible studies, and we also have basic life skill classes. And
Wonderful.
we pull the leadership, the teachers from members of the community in other churches.
Okay, so it isn't any one particular religion that's backing this. It's ecumenical.
Yes.
And it's supported by the community.
Yes, that's correct.
So, Stacy, you are involved with My Sister's House, and how did you become involved, or what is your involvement?
I'm a resident there. I have my two children with me, a 6-year-old and a 16-month-old.
So they do allow the children to be there too, which is huge.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for My Sister's House, I would have nowhere to go. I don't have family that I could have turned to, and it was a bad situation. And Becky took me in, and it's been awesome. She does so much for the families. She's my main support. She's become my mentor.
So you've become family.
We do,
Yeah.
we become family. We support each other.
Oh yeah.
How many residents are there at any one time? I'm sure it varies.
It varies, but we can house up to 15.
Oh, wow.
Four-
And that
four
includes
families.
the children?
Oh
Okay.
yes, it includes the
I mean,
children.
15, including that's mothers
Yes.
and children. And it's all women, I assumed.
Yes, except for the boys.
Yes, yeah.
kids.
The little boys.
No partners, no.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No men.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So, Stacy, what's been the biggest help to you? I mean, obviously, having a place to live is huge.
That's the main thing for me. And just being able to try to become self-sufficient again. I've been able to take the time to prepare myself for job searching. I've come to know God again. Becky gives us daily devotions. She keeps me in line for the things that I need to take care of. And she's just there for whatever I need her for. And it's all around just been a wonderful thing for me.
It's kind of a holistic approach to life. I mean, it's not just providing a place to stay. It's not just a shelter. It's taking care of the whole person. It sounds like you're a very hands-on person. You're not just the figurehead there, are you?
No, I jump right in.
Well, we're like her family.
Yeah.
She-
They're my kids.
That's wonderful. So do you live there on the
Yes, I
premises?
do. I
You
live on site.
Okay, good. Good. That makes you always available,
I
doesn't it?
have one floor all to myself. Well, at least that's my bedroom, my bathroom, but the living quarters, kitchen, and living room and dining area.
When I called you earlier today, just to kind of double check, make sure you were coming tonight, you were helping a family right then, I believe, or you were helping somebody Do you remember what you were doing?
I can't remember. That's terrible.
You said there was, I don't know, a woman and a couple kids or something. I don't know. Tell me what happens when people get referred to you from other agencies.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Oh, yes, they do. We get calls all the time.
And who refers them?
My father's house will refer 211. We get a lot of
Dial
referrals
211?
from them.
Okay.
The Volunteers of America will refer us. Let's see, there's Human Solutions, Daybreak Shelters.
Lots of other good organizations in
Yes.
the community.
Yes.
So if they figure that this is a good solution, they will refer somebody to you. Then what's the first step? Well, for you, Stacy, why don't you tell me, when you were you referred to?
No, I found out about my sister's house on the internet.
Okay.
Because I was living with my sister at the time, and I was trying to get into a shelter. I was on the waiting list, and I found out about Becky, and I called her, and she told me about the program, and she says, well, take a look at the website and call me back if you feel it might be something for you. And what ended up happening for me was I called her back and I said, I'm in a crisis situation now. I need to leave my sister's house.
To go to
my sister's house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she says, well, we're not an emergency shelter, and I there's a process that you have to go through applying. There's board members, and they have to take a look at the application and approve the person.
Okay.
It just so happened that night there was a board meeting or a fundraiser. So she spoke with them that night because she heard what was going on in the background, and she says, you need to leave as soon as you can. So I was there within 2 days. I called on a Thursday and I was in on Saturday morning.
Wonderful.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve she came.
Oh boy!
Christmas Eve.
What a Christmas present for you and
But
your
I
family.
was actually I was able to sleep restfully, and my child knowing that he was safe.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's everything to
Oh,
a mother.
totally.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really nice Christmas.
Oh, good.
It really
I'm
was.
so glad. And you've been there how long? Can I ask that?
Since Christmas Eve.
Since
so
Christmas. Okay. So
close
about
to 6 months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. So,
Yeah, women can stay, up to a year.
Okay, that was
You
my
know,
next question. How
yeah.
long can you stay?
Because really, the first 3 months, you're really settling in. You're unwinding from the situation that you were in.
Detaching from all the bad things that have been going on.
And you're opening yourself up to opportunity or what's available.
Right.
What do I need? This type of thing. And then you go through the course of either education or job search.
Okay.
And then, as you're winding down your last half of the year, you've either got employment or you're in school, and then you start looking for another place to live.
Good. And are you able to assist with those searches, or point people in directions to go to find jobs? And
we do what we can.
You do what you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our computer guru, he finally, we were able to get a computer downstairs that now the women can utilize.
Oh, good.
It's
Good.
wireless so that they can look
Wonderful.
for jobs. Sometimes you're handicapped if you just have a cell phone,
Yes.
or you have to go to another agency, or you have to go to the library.
Sure.
You've got the little kids running around, and the state now won't take care of your children unless you're in some type of a program. And even if you're doing something, going to school or whatever, it's hit and miss.
Yes.
What they can provide. So we've put forth more dollars for our residents so that they can be successful.
That's good. Well, speaking of dollars, I know all nonprofit organizations have been hit hard the last few years because, we've had a recession and it's been very difficult for a lot of organizations to make it. A lot of them haven't. How are you supported?
We're supported by donations. We have a certain dollar amount that we expect every month, and then there's grants, foundations that we get money from, and we have several, like a handful, that we get repeated funds from every year.
Okay.
But we still research for new ones and send out packets of information.
Sure.
And then we have fundraisers.
And now you have some fundraisers coming up, I believe. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So tell me about what you've got coming up, so our viewers can get out there and help support my sister's house.
Okay. Well, I know nobody's going to go tonight, but we have the.
Well, and actually, by the time this airs, it'll be next week. So.
Okay.
So what do we have coming up
after tonight?
After the 20th.
Okay. The 26th, we're going to be at Burgerville, the one that's on Hogan.
Okay.
Across from Bimart, and I guess
Gresham,
there's a
okay.
Chase Bank out there. And what they do, they help with the community by providing an evening that you can go and eat, and then a percentage of those sales
so
go
if you're
back
going
to
to go
the
out to
ministry.
eat that night anyway, go to Burgerville.
Right,
On the
and
26th,
it's
you
the
said?
26th of this month.
Burgerville in Gresham.
Between the hours of 5 and 8.
Okay, good. Get some of those.
Yeah, and we'll be there because we'll bust the tables.
Oh, you will? Oh,
yeah.
fun.
And
okay.
they put it up in a billboard, we're in lights for a night. It's so
fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's fun.
Go take a picture underneath and put it on Facebook.
Yes,
I'll look for you there.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And then we've also registered for the Shop for a Cause. That's something that Macy's puts on every year.
And that's at Lloyd Center.
Lloyd
is that
Center.
Right? So tell me about that. I'm not really familiar
Well,
with that.
they offer a coupon that you sell.
And who's they? Lloyd Center or Macy's?
Macy's.
Okay.
Macy's. And then you keep the funds that you get, from the coupon. And then you use that coupon on one day, August 25th, and you can get percentages off of all your purchases that day at Macy's.
Okay, so explain to me again then, the event itself is on August 25th? Okay, so, and you can get the coupons ahead of time, or you just go there that day?
No, you get the coupons ahead of time.
Okay.
And, we sell them. We'll be selling them in the community.
Okay, and now you have a website.
Yes.
Right. So people can go to the website and find out the information on
Yes.
that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay, so they want more details. Then
Right.
they can go shopping and some of the proceeds will help you out. Good, and if people just have, a little extra cash laying around, they just don't know what to do with it, you could always use some help.
Right, of
Yeah.
course,
Okay.
of course. Anything.
Clothing or diapers or anything, food, anything.
So so items, and sometimes that's easier for people to
Yes.
sometimes they
Right.
They bought themselves a couple pairs of pants and realized, I never did wear them, but they don't fit, and I'm embarrassed to take them back. Hey, I know, please.
Yeah, we have people drop stuff off
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, we
We're
do.
donating.
And food too.
Especially for the kids too, like you said, diapers and
Yes.
things like that, because boy, you go through that stuff like crazy. And
Yes.
Well, and we
Yes.
just had someone who left a situation out of state, and she packed what she could with her, so they had nothing.
Right,
So-
right. So people have those kinds of items. They again can go to the website and get the
Right.
information on how to get those to you. Good. So what's your biggest struggle with? I imagine fundraising is a huge thing, but what do you most need there from people as far as donations or even
Volunteers.
volunteers?
Yes, we do need
Okay.
volunteers.
And what kind of opportunities do you have for volunteers?
Well, a volunteer can come in and just sit at the house while I go out and run an errand.
Just to be as like an in case of
just
emergency
a
kind of
presence.
person, or
just a presence. Or if they have a gift, like they know how to knit or whatever, they can come and have a class.
Oh,
show the
that's a
women
good
how to do
idea.
that. We just did a CPR class for the
see,
ladies
that's a
not too
wonderful
long
idea.
ago,
Especially
and that
those
was
with
really
children.
fun.
That's
Oh
great.
yes, it was. Oh yes.
And,
What about
something
cooking? How do you manage meals and things there?
fun. We take turns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has a night.
Everybody has their own night to cook, and
And so you cook for the group.
you
Yes.
cook for everybody
Learn
that's
to
going to
cook
be
for a
eating
large
dinner.
group of people.
Yeah. Well, I'm not used to cooking on stovetop, so I'm usually microwave or
Okay. Well, see, there's something else you learn, right?
Yes.
Getting you to be self-sufficient and being able to take care, provide for your children,
Sure.
and not just the fast food or the microwave
Right,
meals. And,
right.
And so we have a designated night that we cook.
What about people as the summer goes and people have overabundance of zucchini in their garden or something? Can you use those kind of donations?
Oh, of course.
Or bring over some food. You can
Yes.
use 39 ways to make zucchini. But there's some vegetables that really go crazy, and
Sure.
so you could use that kind of thing.
Well, we have a freezer too,
Yes.
so
Oh,
we
good.
can
Oh, yes.
put some things
Good.
in there, and we do receive donations of meat
Good.
and vegetables and,
Okay.
and different things like that. Anything that a household needs.
Right. It seems like it'd be kind of fun to be able, if you had a skill such as being a really good cook, maybe to come and do like a little cooking class.
Yes.
That'd be kind of a
Yes.
neat thing to do. If people have talents they could share, or think that they might want to share, then they could contact
Right,
you and
if they're
see.
comfortable with that.
It could
Yeah.
be one of the life skills classes that Becky.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, what else do we need to know about My Sister's House? What do you want people to know about so that they will either donate, volunteer, or at least just pass the word along to others?
Well, we're vital to the community. I mean, I get calls from the police down the street, and they say, "Hey, Becky, I've got this lady here who has a child, and can you put her up for a night or two?" you know, and I try to keep a space so that I can do that.
Because it's not set up for emergency shelter.
No, it's not set up. It's
occasion.
only on space available, but every once in a while, you know, that'll happen. And sometimes those women end up staying if I have a
Sure,
space, you
sure.
know, then they do.
Do you have to turn many people away?
Yes, I've had to
That'd
do
be the
that.
hardest thing, I think.
It
having
is
to turn
hard.
people away.
It is hard. And the beds just aren't available in the community. I mean, it's just terrible.
Right, I know. There's way more need than there
Yes.
is available beds.
Yes.
And I know my father's house keeps entire families together, right, with the fathers. But
Right.
this is a particular situation is great for women who need it.
Mm-hmm.
What if I remember what I was just going to ask you, Becky? Okay, so when somebody's referred to you and they've stayed there a year. What if they don't have a job? What if they haven't found any education?
Well, then we'll extend.
You will extend it. Okay.
We
So you're
will
pretty
extend.
flexible. You work with them.
Yeah, as long as they're still working hard, I can see that, you know, they're making an effort.
Yeah.
you
Do
know.
people come back ever and tell you how they're doing?
Yes. Oh, yes. I hear. You know, we're on Facebook. We have a web page and all of that. So I'm in communication with several former residents and checking on their lives and how their kids have grown and you know all this kind
I bet
of
it'd
thing.
be very
I mean,
rewarding
it's
to
wonderful.
have people come back and say, you know, I got this help when I needed it, and now I'm making it
Look
on
at
my
how
own.
well I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I would want to do that.
It would be great to be able to do
I
that.
bet you'll do
yes.
that too, Stacy. Too.
I hope so. Thank
Look at
you.
me now.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or come back and teach a class, or just
There you
share their
go.
experience.
Yeah.
You know, of the new ones that are there. We
Well, the
call them rookies.
inspiration of having somebody like you, Stacy, be able to
Yes.
say, you know, I was where you are,
Yeah.
and now, you know, I've made it, you can too. So I think that would be
Yes.
great. It's
And
wonderful.
Becky's very supportive. She's always giving words of support to encourage everybody, and it would be nice to be able to come back and say,
Well, I try.
because of you, here I am. Yeah.
Good, wonderful. Well, thank you both for being on here. I think my sister's house is doing a terrific job in the community, and you're right, you are vital to the community.
Yes.
Thank you, Stacy, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your experience with us. I appreciate you being courageous
you
enough
for
to do that,
having me.
because that's hard. And if people are interested in finding out more, www.mysistershouse.org.
Net.
.net. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the end of this segment of Community Hotline. Thank you for joining us tonight, but please don't go away, because we're going to have just a little special extra thing coming up here. It's going to involve some of our people that work here at MetroEast. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.